The city of Bethlehem is one of the ancient Palestinian towns. It was actually established as a station between two vibrant cities more than 4,000 years ago. The Canaanites established that city between the town of Jerusalem in the north and the second oldest city in Palestine, Hebron or Al-Khalil in the south. The Canaanites gave it its first name, which sounded like Bethlehem, which means the home of the Lord of fertility. Hence, the Hebrew reference to the city of Bethlehem was Ephrata, which also means fertile in Hebrew. Beit El-Laham became Bethlehem or Bethlehem in Aramaic, which means the home of bread. And for the past 14 or 1500 years, people who spoke Arabic in Bethlehem called it Bethlehem, which means the home of meat. But it's just the same name for 4,000 years, spoken in different languages. The city of Bethlehem is known for being the birthplace of two very famous figures. The first one being, let's say, the first stone thrower in the Palestinian culture, which was a teenager called David, who became King David. His life on earth started in Bethlehem, and then his life on earth ended in Jerusalem. Also, Jesus Christ, Isa alayhi salam, his life on earth started in Bethlehem and ended in Jerusalem. The city of Bethlehem has been a city that connects life throughout history, especially in the south of Palestine, between Hebron and Jerusalem. Bethlehem today is a city that is about 10 square kilometers. It's home for more than 37,000 people. You would come to Bethlehem back in 1946, and you will find that its population were about 1,800 people. 90% of the Palestinians who are locals to Bethlehem are Christians. You come to Bethlehem today, and then 27% of the population are Christian. Why? The reason is very simple. Bethlehem became a destination for refugees from 64 communities back in 1947, 48, and 49. And many of those communities were larger in terms of population than the city of Bethlehem. So what we have today is a town that has a majority of refugees that continue to live in here. And if it was not for the care, the hospitality, the protection that was provided by local families in Bethlehem, those refugees would not have survived the ethnic cleansing that was imposed on them by the State of Israel. Bethlehem was subject to segregation due to an agreement between the Palestinian Liberation Organization and the State of Israel back in 1993, where Bethlehem was divided into areas of control. Area A under Palestinian control in terms of police presence and in terms of organizing civil affairs for the population there. And of course, Palestinian police in Bethlehem does whatever police does in any community except for one thing, which is provide Palestinians who live in Bethlehem with protection from the Israeli army. That's about 54% of the city. Then the remainings of the city, the property owned by the local families in Bethlehem, is considered to be Area C. According to the agreement, Area C is under both civil and military control of the Israeli government. When the Palestinians agreed to that, they were told that Area A and Area C will become, eventually controlled by Palestinians. But that was just another lie added to the series of lies that Palestinians have been subject to by the Israeli government. Within Area A in Bethlehem, in that 54% of the city, it's mostly like a cage surrounded by Israeli checkpoints from every road that leads into and out of the city, also surrounded by walls. The northern part of the city of Bethlehem is destroyed by a wall, and because of that, the State of Israel is making history. History in the sense that for the first time in the history of Bethlehem and Jerusalem, the two cities have been completely cut off from one another. This reality of restrictions of movement is the reality that led different Palestinian and foreign activists to start a marathon in Bethlehem to expose the savage reality imposed on Palestinians in the city of Bethlehem, where because of Israeli restrictions, we don't have a stretch of 42 kilometers, which is the length of a marathon. The point of the marathon is to have people running in circles in the city of Bethlehem to just get an idea on the different Israeli restrictions that prevent Palestinians from moving freely within the city and outside of the city. If you are in Palestine in the second Friday of March, then you are probably going to witness the Right to Movement Marathon or the Palestine Marathon carried out in the city of Bethlehem.